So in this video, we're talking about iron condors, some trading, some live trading here while the market's open. And we're going to be looking at trading iron condors and also setting up stop losses on those same trades to get an idea of how that works within Interactive Brokers. I know a lot of people have been kind of commenting and asking for just some live kind of examples. So we're going to be looking at AMD today. And what our premise is going to be built on is that the market right now, it has sold off. There's a pretty big candle right there moving downwards. So my assumption being that that downward trend is going to continue. So my strategy for this one is very simple. I'm going to be looking to put in some areas of support in here on my chart on TradingView just to have an idea of where I'm going to be. So I'm going to take this back, this last kind of big candle right here, and take that as our bottom line area right there, 132-ish. And I'm going to take the top of this candle right here where it kind of struck out right there and that green wick up there, touched it there. And then this top of this candle started around that same area around 145-ish in a change. So I'm going to put the same horizontal line right around there. So I've got kind of the areas where I believe the stock is going to be kind of bound by over the next month. And that's just some quick technical analysis there. So now I take that 130, let's call it 130. Let's move it down a bit because these are kind of general areas, and 145, okay? And I'm feeling super confident that this isn't going to be like a quick rip back up the way the market's kind of going right now and just a quick sell off to start the year. That's a pretty big move. So we're going to do our condors now in Interactive Brokers with 130 and 144 as our two kind of levels. So here inside Interactive Brokers, we're going to get into our options chain and put this iron condor together. I'm going to target 45 days out just because there's not a lot of volume, as you can see here, for 38 or 30 days out for that month. And you get a whole whack more volume at 45 days. So if I'm going to extend time like this, I'm actually going to go a little bit beyond our 130 kind of price level and give it a little bit more buffer for clearance, especially when the delta is already at 30% right there for this. So I'm gonna go to 125, and there's a bunch of option volume there and at 120 as well. So I'm gonna click this here, sell the 125, and then buy the 120 for our put side leg. And then on the other side, we can get a little bit more aggressive on this because we do have such a downward movement on AMD, and I don't think it's gonna get up to that 145 level again anytime soon. So if that's my prognosis and my hypothesis, I can go around 45, even though the delta is a bit higher. Right, you're going to be a little bit more aggressive on this end. We're going to go sell and buy. And now we've got our iron condor in here. We have our price action together, okay? You can see our bid ask spread is 285, 263, somewhere around there. So if we scroll this down, we're going to drop down here to the mid and go mid 273. And then we're going to submit that order, get that filled. And as soon as this fills, we're going to put on our stop losses for this trade to make sure that the stop losses are in fact in place and we don't take on too much unnecessary risk in the trade. I'm going to change it to the ask down here just to get it filled quicker. We are filled, baby. We are in the hopper. The trade is in there. Now we've got this AMD iron condor in our portfolio. I also have a Tesla iron condor in here showing you how the unrealized profit works. And we're going to set up our stop loss on the AMD iron condor in a second. What we can see here, this is very important because I think this is what people struggle with, and I've struggled with in the past 100% on getting the direction right here. We got this iron condor for Tesla, our average price right there, right? 307, and now it's trading at 218, which is roughly a $90 difference. And as this kind of time goes by, if you get your iron condor right and the price of Tesla stays between this 230, 260 area, you're going to have an erosion of this premium. So this 307 is going to get lower and lower and lower. The closer it gets to zero, right? We're going from negative 307 up towards zero. So it's going up to negative 2.81, 2.18. A little dyslexia there for you. So we want to make sure that when we have our stop loss on, we want to have the stop loss on the opposite direction. So if it's going from 3 up to 1 or closer to 0, going from 3, think of it this way, going from 3 downwards and getting less, right? That means you're going to be making money. So we want to make sure that our stop loss is if this number starts getting bigger. So for the case of AMD, if it's at 256, right, the average price, it's currently at 274, and I did this to make sure that it got on my account. We're currently down about 20 bucks in our position. So if we want to make sure that we don't lose more money, we want to make sure that when this lasts or the current value of this iron condor goes up like 3 or 4, that's where we want to set our stop loss for this. And always make sure you paper trade this first if you don't understand fully what you're doing. I've made the mistake of doing this and trying it out and not making it right and losing a little bit of cash, but that's kind of paid experience sometimes. So let's do this. Close this trade off, right? We want to have a limit order or a stop limit order. And in this case, our limit area here, right? If we said 256, if it goes up, let's say we want to lose 150 bucks total. So if it goes up to 4 total, we'd be losing roughly 150 bucks, okay? Because we got it at 256. If it keeps going up, that would mean that AMD's the price, either the 125 or the 145 are being approached by the AMD stock price. That's when that would happen. So limits could be 4. And the stop area, let's stop it out here. So at 4, it's going to try limit order. At 410, it's going to stop it out and close this trade off for us, okay? And if we do good till cancel, that trade's going to be on. We're going to submit this, override and transmit. And now we've got a ongoing stop limit order on. You can see it in that chart right there, right? This value here is now in this Iron Condor chart. You can see it there, 410. And so again, if this AMD Iron Condor goes in value from 256 and it inflates up to $4, we're stopped out, okay? And we would lose roughly 4 minus 2.5, so 1.5 times 100, $150. That's how that works for stop losses for Iron Condors. If you were doing a take profit on Iron Condor, it'd be the same thing, but you want to put it on the opposite side, just like how this Tesla is in the money right now. It's unrealized 90 bucks. If I set the take profit at $2, where it's currently at 215, if it kind of if time goes by, a lot of this time with the Iron Condors, if time goes by and the theta keeps kicking in and working, I could set the take profit area on this $2 mark and that would close me out. I take my profit and I move it on to the next trade. So I hope this clears up things for stop losses associated with Iron Condors. If you still have questions, you have kind of ideas you want to bounce around, please leave a comment. I appreciate all the feedback. I know I haven't always done this properly. I'm trying to provide you clarity and just the easiest path to set up these Iron Condor stop losses. It's a kind of a fickle thing with the negatives and you're buying versus selling. So I understand the confusion behind it. It takes me a little bit of time to work through it too. So don't feel like you're not getting it as quick as you should, because it does take time and effort to figure out. Like I said before though, always paper trade if you're not exactly sure. Try to gather as much information as you can. Get the experience down first in a paper trading account before you go and apply it to your own trading account.